Hey, it's the Muffin here. Welcome back to the channel. I thought it'd be quite interesting to talk about the peak time that Blitz had the biggest player base. And through all time, I'm going off of a website here called Steam Charts, going off of the player base. Now, this isn't completely based on all time or global results, I don't think. There seems like there would be a lot more players around the whole world. Steam very well could just be going off of players that are downloading and playing Blitz through Steam, which you can go through and get games that way. And so this was the data I was able to find. Of course, we know there's the Russian server, the Asian server, the North American server, the Europe server, but this can give us a glimpse into some of the player data and at what times or point in times Blitz could have been doing better at other times than others. And what was it at those times that Blitz was doing that could have helped increase and attract its largest player base at that time? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So when looking at it, based off this information, the peak time, all-time peak when Blitz had the most players according to Steam was 48,471 players. And we look at around the time frame of when that was, it was in December 2020, and you'll see right there that 48,471 and had a 22.94% gain, quite a boost of players that were coming into this game. Now there's a lot of things that happen around this time frame with the Christmas events and new things, and there's always updates and things changing. And it's not the first time Blitz has ever done that. Of course, you know, in other years they've done that, but what was specific about December 2020? Now we know in 2020 there was the pandemic and people were in lockdown, so that could have contributed to it, but was there something about the game in general that Wargaming was doing to attract more people? This was the Blitz vid that was referring to the update that was coming out for December 2020. And there's a lot of things that were very interesting happening here. I'll go ahead and play that. And once again, you've got the Christmas opening, and I don't necessarily think that a lot of players were coming into the game because of this, this Rudolph tank. There was some hype around it, I do remember that. But you'll notice this moon map and this gravity mode event where people were able to jump really high with their tanks, get lots of air, fly around, ram. And gravity had been something that was out for a while, but that whole jumping ability really added a lot to the game. And being able to do some of these crazy things that players can do really does catch some of that player base interest. Now, they're talking about the Tier 10 Sheridan, and this is right at the time when Blitz used to have ATGMs, and there was a lot of hate in the game towards these things. This was the update. Blitz was announcing the removal of the missiles for the Tier 9 and the Tier 10 American light tanks. And that did have a significant difference. They kept the missile tank, as you can hear, but it's only something that can be used in special events and training rooms. But yeah, so that was actually a big thing. I know there was a lot of players that had left the game because of these missiles, these ATGMs. I thought they were a lot of fun. If you knew how to combat them, I didn't think it was too hard, but there were times it was quite frustrating when you wouldn't be able to see the enemy when they were a Sheridan, but they could shoot you. So that was something that was frustrating. You have the Hellcat here, and that's a very popular tank. Some of the buffs that were happening around this time. Some other changes like the bat chat's reload time, accuracy of the patent, just kind of skipping forward here. They had decreased some armor and more balancing changes. They increased some of the armor on the T20. Anyway, long story short, I could see why there were some things that had really spiked the player base around this time, and you'll have to let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. Do you think there was something particular that Blitz was doing to really attract the user base better than they have before? And are there things that they could be building upon what they had done in this update during this peak time? Another thing you'll notice here is this is when the AMX M4 Lee 54 was part of the Christmas event, and it was a tank that you can get. It was a tank that was very strongly desired. I have the tank itself. These Christmas event tanks, they're not cheap by any means, and it's a great tank, and it could have been pulling in a lot of players to want to get this as well. So once again, let me know your thoughts. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.